Alright, now the whole point of Dwarrowdeep is to gather resources in order to upgrade your dwarves and buildings so that you can go out and crush your enemies. So, in order to do that, we need to issue our dwarves some commands to go gather resources for us so we can use them. Now, this is the very starting point, which means I can't really see much of what's on the map. So I'm going to send most of my dwarves out to explore. Now, you can see that I've currently got Longbeard 3 selected. I can actually click on this icon right here and then choose any of my Longbeards, and I'm going to start with number 1. I want to send number 1 south to explore. So once I've selected him, I right click actually, on the square that I want him to go explore to, and then I can either send him to move there, I can send him to build a wall, explore. There's a variety of commands, each one of which does something different. In this case, I simply want to go exploring. Now let's move on to Longbeard 2, who I will send exploring to the west. Again, I right click on the square. From the pop-up menu, I choose Explore, and there we go. Now you can see, by the way, the queue of commands that are now slotted for this particular dwarf. I'm going to move to Longbeard 3. I'm going to send him exploring up in the north, and Longbeard 4. Now Longbeard 4 I'm going to do something different with. Even though these are essentially cave walls, I can actually start mining them for resources. In this case, stone. Stone is the very most basic resource which you can get from any cave wall. If I had other resources available to me, they would be shown as different color icons, and that's something we'll see later. For right now, though, I'm just going to select Longbeard 4 as I had before, right-click on this area with stone, and again, I've got a couple of different commands here. You'll notice that my commands have changed based on the type of tile that I've clicked on. So now I don't have my explore or move to commands, since a dwarf finds it somewhat difficult to move into solid rock, but I've got dig or mine or prospect. In this case, I'm going to choose mine. I've got a selection of resources I can pick from. I can pick stone, since that's the only one available there, and again, I'm going to start it moving. Now, I've now set up a variety of things for my dwarves to do. In effect, they will continue doing these things until I tell them to stop or issue them other commands, which means even though one turn is about to tick, they might follow these commands for more than one turn. This is a way for you to issue commands ahead of time. That is, you don't need to log in every turn, you just simply need to issue a queue of commands for your dwarves to follow on each subsequent turn. Now we're going to see the turn tick here, at which point our dwarves will go ahead and do what they're supposed to do. Alright, look at that. The turn has ticked, my dwarves have gone exploring, and as you can see, I can now see a lot more of the map. Now, I'll notice that one of my dwarves, in this case, I can find out that by clicking on it, it's Longbeard 2, has discovered some minerals. These are marked by these gem-like, colorful icons on the map. Now, if I tell this dwarf right now to mine this by clicking on it and clicking mine, and I can tell him it can collect anything it wants, you'll see that the dwarf is now slotted to mine that particular mineral. In other cases, I can simply leave these dwarves to do what they want, such as explore northwest. There's no reason to issue new commands if I simply want them to keep going. You'll see that this dwarf is exploring south, and Longbeard 4 over here is still mining stone.